All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, worshippers of all ages, welcome back to King of the Sea 13 here, as we are going to be bringing you Game 1 of Magic versus XIII. This is the RU server versus the NA second place team, excuse me. Here on North, Magic spawning to the north side of the map here in green, bringing double Ohio, Des Moines, Venezia, Napoli, Nevsky, Gearing, Daring, and Shimakaze. Stats, what has XIII got cooking in the oven?
XIII for NA have double Ohio, a Des Moines, Salem, Venezia, double Moskva, and then double Shimakazes. I don't think we've seen two Shimas before today, so that's interesting. On this map, makes sense. A lot of open water to throw the torpedoes through. Lots of potentially smoke screens going to be sitting around, so that makes a lot of sense to me. Henning, we were just talking about like dynamic Asian strategy. And then we off camera we were talking about the CIS server tactics being quite similar. Would you say to EU and NA?
I would say between EU and Russia more than EU and NA.
Okay.
NA usually does its own thing.
So I think, but the strategies for CIS are going to be fairly familiar to people who've watched either the NA or the EU tournaments. We're going to see maybe smoke screens, so the gearing, smoking up the cruisers over on the ACAP, for example. So something a bit more classic, a bit more what we're used to, a bit less dynamic than what we've just seen. Okay, so initial deployments, we've got the red team, so XIII are taking a bigger blob over towards the seaside. We've got Ohio, Moskva, and Salem down on the H line, with Des Moines of John, Moskva of Dolphin, and Phrysis Shimakaze over towards the 9 line. So I suspect eventually we'll see a heavy 9-10 push, and then they've gone a bit lighter over towards the A side. How about Magic?
Magic is going kind of a little opposite. They've got 4 ships over here on this A flank. That's Venezia, Nevsky, and Double Destroyer. That's Gearing and Daring. And over kind of keeping a couple of ships mid. That's, let's see, Buta's Des Moines here, kind of lurking near the B cap. Sort of backed up by Dimitri's Ohio. The remainder, actually, they're keeping both their battleships kind of mid right now. That's Maximus and Dimitri. As Turbofan Shimakaze and Resurrect? I'm going to mispronounce it. Anyway, Ressa's Napoli, let's just say, headed over to the 9-10 line all by themselves. An early radar there from Dolphin Prince's Moskva does pick up Turbo Shimakaze, so XIII knows where he is at the moment.
So we've got these 2 destroyers versus 1 destroyer over on the A cap. So there's a lot of torpedoes going backwards and forwards. When you've got a Gearing, a Daring, a Shima, a Venezia, 2 Venezias, 1 on each side, that's a lot of torps going back and forth. So I think it's a fair bet that at some point someone's going to take a torp over here, I think.
I'm going to be... Yeah, and I'm going to be curious to see how XIII kind of plays this flank out, right? We're used to seeing, at least on NA, when you watch XIII, you're used to seeing them stick a Shimakaze on this side of the map. I've seen Eagle play this position in the tournament before. He usually does a very good job with it, but we're only seeing a double destroyer composition out of them, and I'm trying to think back if I've seen that before, and I don't think that I have. Ordinarily, I remember seeing them play this with, I think, 3 destroyers, because they're able to rotate one over here to back Eagle up and work some torpedo angles on occasion. They're not going to be able to do that in this game.
Yeah, so Magic's got they've got the two destroyers there. They've got the Nevsky radar, so it's going to be very hard for Eagle to get in and get that A cap. So the question is, where do XIII get a cap from? Because you've got B, they've only got John there in the Des Moines. That's not really a valid push. That's not going to last very long at all. They've got a lot more ships over on the seaside, so they can definitely push up 9-10. That's going to take a while. So do they push the Ohio in? Do they push Marin in as they make that 9-10 push?
They have to get the Ohio actually to the 9 line and help there. They need to push 9-10 as fast as possible here. They have a clear advantage there. You can park the battleship into C from the 8-9 line gap. That's usually what you do there.
Yeah, what do they do? They're going to have to do it quickly.
Well, so they're only down 1 cap right now. We're only 5 minutes in. 1 cap doesn't tick up quick enough that it's a real extreme problem. So I think they're okay to take their time for now. It's you can see kind of the 9-10 push forming here. I think you're probably still 60-ish seconds away from seeing much combat over here. I've been keeping an eye on Frice on this flank over here on the 10 line. He is running 12-kilometer torpedoes. It looked like he might have had a really good potential salvo there on the Napoli, but they all fell short by a couple hundred meters because he's been kind of playing right at the edge of the range.
Ohio of Maximus for Magic, I think briefly got a spot on Ocean's Moskva there over on the 10 line. Just AP shells just falling short. While Magic in front of the Ohio's make a move on B. James for Magic just skirting the top of the cap there, throwing some conga line torpedoes out towards John the Ruthless's Des Moines on the corner.
I'll be curious to see how that works out. We've seen John fall victim to the conga line torps at least once or twice in the NA bracket.
Yeah, we've seen several cruisers on this corner fall foul to daring torpedoes.
He's actually in a dangerous spot here. The Ohio's are trying to get angles on him. He's kind of stuck there.
Yeah, the problem is John's got torpedoes coming from the front, Dimitri's Ohio to the front, and Maximus's Ohio to the rear.
Yeah, just waiting for him to back up too far.
Yeah, it's a very risky position, as you say. I mean, the Des Moines in the north position is kind of similar, but it's not quite the same. The islands are a little bit different. They're a little bit taller.
Yeah, and he's also not under nearly as much pressure, right? Because even if the Ohio down here, that's Ace Baby, even if that Ohio's looking right at you, and his guns are kind of looking that way, the Ohio from the south has no shot, right? That's Marin. Marin has no shot if Buddha moves back too far. So that's not a thing.
We're about to see 07 make their move into Charlie. Frice has made that transition through the gap into the cap after the Salem and the Moskva pushed the Magic Shima off the cap, or off the 9 line.
Oh, on the 2 line there, Shimmer Torps coming for the Nevsky.
Yeah, Eagle is probably running the 20 kilometers. Oh, he takes one, takes two.
Takes two.
That's a huge kill.
And with Shima Torps, 2 is enough.
That is a huge kill for 07.
That removes the radar coverage of A. That is going to make life a lot more pleasant for Eagle here.
Yeah.
Although 1-on-1 against a Gearing, is still not that nice.
Yeah, it's going to really change the dynamic of the A cap, assuming that Eagle can live through this exact moment right here as he falls under Sea Power's Gearing's guns.
Yeah, of course now that escape smoke is actually working because there's no radar to counter it.
Indeed.
Venezia was hoping there, I think, to get some nice shots into See My Power, but didn't quite manage it. So Gearing's still currently holding the cap.
07 does pick up C as James's daring grabs B, so Magic slowly building on their 80-point lead here as we're a little over 8 minutes into the game.
A little replay here of Dimitri taking some incoming from several ships in the middle, taking quite a chunk. So two caps in Magic's hands. Eagle will try to contest A. But of course, See My Power knows that that's what's going to happen and is right there.
Yeah, you have to believe the Venezia's going to have to get up here a little closer,
yeah.
Maybe.
And you can see its ace is also pushing up as well.
Yeah, really good time for them to make this play on this flank if they want to do it.
So there is a
Eagle
bit of a
now
torpedo threat
contesting
there is a bit of a torpedo threat from the Gearing, but the Venezia can do a little bit of screening for Ace Baby, and also the Ohio's got quite a lot of health, so that push is not too dangerous.
Venezia blind fire going and looking for Eagle as he makes contact with See My Power. He's going to have to get either back behind the island or back into smoke. They're going to get the Gearing maybe? 800.
Is that torp going to connect?
Venezia torpedo coming in? No.
See My Power getting away on 887, but of course that's going to be it for the rest of the game in terms of hit points.
Venezia shells do connect on Eagle. He's down to 5k.
Not sure if Eagle's going to expect a daring.
No, he's probably not. I was just going to point that out.
Yeah, Magic have rotated James in as a replacement for the Gearing.
Yeah.
So Eagle is probably running radio location, right? So
yeah, he should know by now.
So you can see Eagle's like, yeah, there's something else here. I'm going to run away now.
Yeah. So the question is, does James push aggressively Eagle knows he's there. You can tell by the way Eagle's maneuvering that his RPF tells him he's there.
Yeah, James will also, of course, have radio location and will know where Eagle is running to, and will not be keen to take those torpedoes, which will definitely be anticipated. So nice use of radio location by both teams there. Nice swap in from Magic. That's going to keep them the A cap. Because 07 right now don't have a way of getting into B unless they bring the Ohio around, which might be what they're doing.
Well, I was just fixing to point that out. Marin is kind of coming in that direction. There's not really anything to kind of stop him from getting over here and being that guy if they want him to be. Maybe even just use kind of attempt to do to Buddha what they were doing to John earlier, kind of try and zone him out with Ace and Marin.
Well, I think 07 can't push any more up the 9-10 line. That would be a little bit too risky, I think. So they do need to do something on B, and I think the logical move is to use Marin. Great health pool. Ohio will push really well. That's going to put the Des Moines of Magic in under a lot of pressure.
The Venezia is over here on the 1 and 2 line, trading blows here. Both of them getting down to under half HP, around 20k or so. Eagle Lance pushing back up onto the southwestern edge of the A cap.
I think Eagle Lance is trying to spot See My Power because See My Power is a one-shot, whereas Eagle might be able to survive getting spotted. Because if Eagle doesn't fire, as soon as the gearing gets killed, the Shima would go unspotted again. So that might be what they're trying to do.
Yeah, and that's the key, right? Is that if Eagle can get the spot long enough for his teammates to take the shot, then okay. But if he fires his guns, the Daring is probably going to clean him up. Or the Venezia.
Okay, replay here of the Napoli for Magic. Just dodging some torpedoes, incoming shells as well. Nice little dodge there. Second set coming. And that's going to be both sets dodged.
Beautiful ship handling.
Okay, I think 07 are ready. Marin is lined up alongside John the Ruthless south of the B cap. Yep, Marin is going to make that push. But I think Magic see it coming. They've got Maximus pushing down to counter.
Well, and the Shimakaze's come over as well. That's Turbofan is pulled all the way back off the 9 line. First salvo for Marin going in on Buddha. Solid hit. Oh, big hit from Ace.
Pulling the Shima back is going to open a little door for 07 to push around that top corner if they want to, although they obviously need to bear in mind that the Magic Napoli is right up in that top corner. Moskva also of Dolphin Princess pushing up through the gap here.
So Eagles on the cap at A as they shove Marin into B. Eagle is just chilling. In fact, the cap is contested because James is Daring sitting on the opposite end, going nowhere. They're bringing James south now.
James is spotted. James knows that the Shima is there. Trying to keep an eye on both A and B caps at the same time.
Eagle smoking immediately, not willing to risk his ship. Doesn't want to get potentially blapped off the board there by the Venezia.
Okay, Turbofan is radar spotted above the B cap, so the Shima is taking a little bit of fire, but I think he's mostly safe behind that island.
Marin turns, avoiding the first set of Shima-torps. Second set is also going to miss. Buddha's getting pincered as well.
Dolphin Princess with nothing on the right-hand side to stop this push.
Yeah, Buddha's getting pincered here. He's got nowhere to run.
The Moskva needs to be careful of Turbofan's torpedoes if they are available, but I think all sets are currently on cooldown. Not 100% sure about that.
Marin's secondary is now starting to work Buddha over as he waits for his bow turrets to reload. They're going to get this Des Moines. It's only a matter of time. They've just here come the bow turrets. This ought to do it. And there he goes. 07 now sitting on B, up 2 ships, still down 90 points, but they've got 5 minutes on the timer. Plenty of time to make something happen here.
That could have been worse. So Marin just took incoming from Dimitri's Ohio over on the 3 line. That could have been a lot worse. That was quite light damage considering. Marin only down less than half health currently. There we go. That's about half health now.
Yep.
Doing pretty
Marin
well.
doing great job of preserving the health of his Ohio as his teammates start to farm down Maximus, who's now getting under 30,000 HP in his. In fact, Magic's going to smoke him up to try to give him a little breather.
Eagle Lancer spotted and no smoke available. James pushing hard to try and catch up with Eagle here and keep him spotted.
Well, Magic
Over
needs
on
this
the
kill
A-cap.
really badly.
4,000 and dodging. SAP misses from the Venezia. 3,000. Radar out from John the Ruthless in the middle.
It makes you wonder if Eagle's got his speed boost available, because he should... Oh, big hits onto James from the Ohio HE. But Shima should be faster with his speed boost up. There he is. He's finally dark. Oh, so close. 600 HP for Eagle.
Yeah, James not quite making it and having to smoke because now very, very close to that Ohio and Venezia.
Venezia salvo comes in. Nothing doing as
Ooh.
John takes a big hit.
Yeah, John is going to have to deal with torpedoes as well. Fortunately, there is a big gap in those torps. John's still pushing forward with the radar.
Very close to taking Maximus off the board as he's under 7K now and continuing to burn. I think they're going to get him here. It's a question of whether or not he can take John with him when he goes.
See My Power surviving a volley from Elgar's Venezia at long range. Ohio goes down.
4 minutes to play. There's our first lead change of the game as 07 moves out into the lead on 2 caps now with a 3-ship lead. All they basically have to do now, settle in and hold what they've got and not lose any more ships.
814 points, 816 points for 07 with 2 caps ticking and 3.5 minutes left.
Oh, they get
Magic's
they get Turbofan. So an extra kill speeds things up a bit as they're pulling. They just told Eagle go hide in the back of the map. He's not going anywhere near. He can get shot at this point.
07 without a ship loss yet. They've still got all their ships on the board. Only 5 ships remaining for Magic.
And all of those ships clustered onto the 1, 2, 3, and 4 lines. Actually, no, the Napoli.
Yeah.
Except the Napoli. I just realized he was still alive in A10. Look at this.
Yeah. Yeah, the Napoli's been working from home up in the A10 square. Yeah, no, that Napoli is actually, it's very risky to have a ship off to one side because obviously it's going to be able to get your broadside and be a pain. But Magic not really able to do anything with that Napoli to stop this push over through the 9-10 line.
Yeah.
When they had to pull the ships over back towards B.
As I look back at the game, to me one of the big and they bagged the Ohio. Beautiful broadside shot from Marin, and that's over. To me, one of the things that I look back that I think was really decisive in this game is how long it took. Both teams basically ignored B for a while, okay? And by doing that, you gave 07 the time to reorganize and come up with a B push of their own. In the sense of, they did rotate, Magic rotated the Daring back and picked up B, but for those first several minutes, while 07 got organized on the 9-10 line, they weren't ticking up 2 caps. That little bit of extra missed pressure, I think, hurt Magic some.
Yeah, and I think...
to an extent that's correct, but I think the biggest problem here was Magic just losing their Nevsky on A to Shimmer Tops from like 39k. That was really, really bad. They lost a lot of firepower on that. They had to rotate their gearing back, the Daring back because of that, because their gearing ended up having a bad trade, which could have been completely avoided if they just have a radar there.
Well, best of luck to both these teams. I think we need to get on with our next series now, because we're not going to be following this series. We're going to be switching over to, I think, Smile versus 1S. So we will pass it back to the studio for them to have a quick chat about this and transition to the next series.